Hello everyone and welcome to the Chrissy B Show, and we are of course the UK's only TV programme that's dedicated to your mental health and well-being. Well, with Christmas fast approaching, we here on the programme thought we would share some of our favourite organisations making Christmas that little bit brighter for those less fortunate. I'm especially looking forward to speaking with Caroline Billington from Community Christmas, an organisation dedicated to giving those feeling lonely or isolated during the festive period. We'll also be joined by a member of the NHS Camden and Islington team, Lall, who runs a joint venture with Arsenal Football Club. We actually first met Robert at the World Mental Health Day event at City Hall, and we're very excited to have him on the show. He and his team are trying to use football as a way of raising awareness for mental health issues, and he'll also be telling us what the Trust will be doing during the Christmas period. But there's more. If you're stuck for ideas on Christmas gifts, we'll also be giving you a great idea with the House of Colour. Natalia Kotowska will be giving us a challenging workout because there's no excuse not to train during the festive period, and we'll be showing you what Thrive London have been up to with their problem-solving booths. But first, let's start off with Tom Cridland, who created the Christmas jumper with a 30-year guarantee. Tom wants to challenge a culture of disposability as well as help the environment by making something that lasts. So let's go and talk to him now. Welcome to the show, Tom.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
So, Tom, tell us about how you started your business in the first place and why.
Well, I started back in 2014 with a government startup loan when I graduated from uni up in Bristol. And I started the business with my girlfriend Debs, who's also my business partner, and has been over the last 4 years now. And we started off, the Tom Cridland brand started off making trousers. That's what we specialised in. But later on, as you know, and as we're going to talk about, I guess, we became a sustainable fashion brand.
Brilliant. And when did the idea for the 30-year guarantee for jumper come from?
So, well, when we were first starting out, the goal was we're going to be the brand making trousers more interesting, making the perfect pair of trousers. You know, you never kind of think, oh, that's the go-to brand for a pair of trousers. That was the idea, not the best idea in the world, not the worst. And we got a fair amount of buzz around the brand because we had the opportunity to make chinos for Leonardo DiCaprio, Daniel Craig, Ben Stiller and a few other celebrities. But I wanted to move away from that anyway, and it just so happened that I saw a documentary called The True Cost by Andrew Morgan, a film director who I met in LA, and he and his film really inspired me to try and adjust the way that we made clothing and the way that we marketed it, because it really unraveled just how bad fast fashion is. And so this sweatshirt that I had in production, in development, I thought it would be cool to guarantee it for a set length of time, not a lifetime guarantee, not a gimmicky guarantee, but a concrete set length of time in an effort to encourage people to keep their clothing for longer and to also appeal to them, because obviously if we guarantee a sweatshirt to last for 30 years, it's going to save you money and it's going to have to be made to a higher standard.
It is crazy how things sort of just don't last nowadays, even electrical items, isn't it? Just before, I remember years ago, things used to seem to last a lot longer, the quality seemed a lot better, but nowadays it's just terrible. Things just break, they don't last, and you kind of have to keep buying new things, really. So it's great to have something like this. And what was the response like?
It was really overwhelming. We'd had a little bit of buzz before, as I say, because we'd had the opportunity to make trousers for some actors and musicians. But there was, you know, nothing could have prepared us for the reaction that we got. We were covered a lot in the international press, you know, not just here in London where the press were very kind to us, but, you know, the Hindustan Times in India, or the Sydney Morning Herald in Australia, you know, places that I'd never even been before were interested in this idea. And kind of overnight, we just went from being a tiny startup to, I mean, I'd still define us as a startup, but to being a business that had certainly a lot more customers and a lot more responsibilities, and also a lot more freedom with which to launch more products. So we launched the 30-year t-shirt, the 30-year jacket, the entrepreneur's shirt, the Real Music collection, all sorts of things after that.
Wow.
So it really was what got us off the ground, the 30-year sweatshirt and that idea.
Amazing. And it all sounds very exciting, but you must have faced some challenges along the way. What kind of things did you face and how did you overcome them?
Well, when I first started, it was with this government startup loan. So it was £6,000, which is a lot of money if it's there sitting in your bank account. But if it's there to buy stock for a business, you know, trousers are expensive to make. This is what we started off as I mentioned, making. So that wasn't enough to afford a full stock order, really. It may have been enough to get like the navy chinos, but even to afford decent stock levels of four colours of chinos, it wasn't enough. So that meant that we had no marketing budget at all. We had no budget. No budget for anything else other than stock, and we actually had to launch the business by taking pre-orders to top up that 6,000 to afford the stock. But yeah, marketing it was a big challenge, because it's like you start off with all these pie-in-the-sky aspirations of, oh, I'm going to create a new clothing brand, and then you launch a website and you're launching it to flies, and it quickly becomes apparent that actually life is very hard if you do decide to go down one of these risky paths, as it is for anyone trying to start a fashion brand or trying to become a musician or an actor or do anything creative. So marketing was actually the hardest thing at the start, but having to teach myself how to do my own press and my own PR and my own social media and everything like that has been really valuable. And actually today we run a sister business where we help other brands and businesses with their marketing, and that enables us to keep the Tom Cridland fashion brand completely privately owned, which is nice to not have investors breathing down our neck. We're able to
just be free and do whatever you want.
We're able to scale the business, is the word that I'm looking for.
Excellent.
Through this sister business as well.
What actually kept you going though? Was it the sort of the belief in yourself, or what you had? What was it that kept you going through the difficult times?
I think just sort of, I really wanted to do something entrepreneurial. So at a certain point, I guess, if you're trying to do something ambitious and it's not working, do you think about packing it in? But I never wanted to, because I thought, well, I'm still young, I don't have kids, I don't have a mortgage, etc. So
you say you work with your partner?
Yes.
How's that going?
It works very well for us.
That's good.
For some people it wouldn't. Well, my mum and dad probably wouldn't like to work together, but that doesn't mean to say that they don't love each other. You know, it's more a case of what works for you in your relationship, I guess. And Debs is very tolerant and you know, very easygoing. And so am I to a certain extent. But when I have my wobblers, she.
Balance each other out, don't you?
Yeah, and also she's very hardworking, disciplined, and talented, and like I'm probably more on the creative side. Sounds
like a great team.
But it's a good team, and without her discipline, it would be impossible to run this. You know, we're running two businesses effectively, with other kind of fledgling projects as well. But running the Tom Cridland fashion brand alone, I can tell you, would never have been possible. But it's always me that gets to do the interviews and take the credit for it.
Well, we need to bring her in next time. If she was to have an interview.
Well, without her manning the ship, it would be impossible. And that said, you know, sometimes I ruffle a few feathers, and if there's any bad press, I have to take that too. Although everybody's been so supportive of us so far so good.
Just any final words, Tom, for our viewers that are thinking of starting a business but a little bit like nervous about it? What would you say?
I would say if you ever want advice, go on to tomcridland.com, and somewhere in the contact section there's a way of reaching me. I'd be happy to answer any questions. I do occasionally get people asking for help, because there's no one thing, there's no one secret ingredient that's going to make all the difference. You've got to focus on all these different areas. You know, if you're trying to start a brand, any brand, but particularly a fashion brand, you know, there's R&D, there's marketing, there's within marketing, press, social media, there's customer services, there's all sorts of things.
Brilliant. Tom, thank you so much.
Oh, thank
and all the best with all your plans.
Oh, thank you very much.
I'm sure we'll be hearing
Merry
more
Christmas.
from you. Thank you. Now, everyone, if you're wondering what to get your family and friends over Christmas and you're feeling adventurous, you might want to consider getting them a colour reading. Take a look at our trip to House of Colour.
The Chrissy B team was lucky enough to be invited to the House of Colour offices just outside of London to see what so-called colour reading was all about.
Right, so Chrissy, I'm going to explain to you the colour wheel, because that will not only provide interest, but it will show you what we're going to do when we get in front of the mirror. Okay, so this colour wheel represents all the colours in the universe. There's 137 up there, but every colour you could ever find is represented there. And it's arranged in the way that it is for reasons that will become obvious over the next couple of minutes. It's based on research that was done in the Bauhaus in the 1930s. And the master of painting at that time was called Johannes Itten. He was a Swiss artist. And he made a discovery. He realised that everybody was born with a subjective preference for their own colouring, which was fascinating, and that's a whole different subject in itself. But they got so interested in it that they decided in the Bauhaus to research that and research colour right down to its core. And what they proved is what we've got represented here, and I can show you. So we all know there are three primary colours, red, yellow and blue. Learned that very young at school. Primary red, if I put it in the centre of the wheel, you'll see whichever way I move it, it looks okay. It's the one colour actually everybody can wear, and often television presenters turn up wearing it. Every other colour, apart from primary red, has either slightly more yellow or slightly more blue in it, and we're going to discover which of those categories, if you like, you fit into. Once we've done that, we're going to choose in natural daylight, which is not a service you get in the high street. We're going to choose some makeup for you. We're going to choose a foundation, some blusher, some lipsticks that will bring out your natural colouring and make you look your very best in a lovely natural way, honouring who you are. So this is you in these warm colours, and this is you in the cool colours. You look different. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that by using a blue-based colour, and then I'm going to put a yellow-based equivalent over the top. So still a blue, but very yellowy. Okay, so there's this look.
Colour reading involves an in-depth and lengthy process of matching a person's complexion, eye colour and bone structure to the perfect set of colours for them, while also identifying the colours that they shouldn't go near again. The process even helps them to match which colours go with which outfits, accessories or individual items of clothing.
We see the natural blush coming through. That's a little bit orangey, I think. That's a bit pink. That would work. I'm going to go here.
So how long have you been involved in House of Colour, and why did you get involved in the first place?
So over 20 years now. I had postnatal depression after I had my third son, which just didn't resonate with me at all. That's not the kind of person I was. I didn't know what had happened. And my mother said to me one day, she lived in Australia, she sent me a cheque for £100. She said, why don't you dump the baby, go and have a day, go shopping. And I had this extraordinary experience standing in the shopping mall, just not understanding what I was doing there, what any of the colours or the clothes in the shops and how they would relate to me. And the friend who looked after the baby said, why don't you go and have your colours analysed with House of Colour? I hadn't heard of it. I went, and it was an absolutely transformational moment for me. As I looked at myself in the mirror, although I didn't like what I saw, I could see me. I could see the person I had been, and I realised that that was something that I wanted to do. Long story short, I got the opportunity to train and to run a very successful franchise here, where our headquarters are. I went on to become a regional manager, and 10 years ago had the opportunity to buy the company with some of my colleagues. So it's been an amazing story for me, and I believe passionately about what we do, that it can really bring people alive, release that confidence that's perhaps got knocked as we go through life. Certainly was my experience, and I do feel passionately about bringing it. I think you could wear that from head to foot, and I'm going to give that a star at 100% and a double star at 75%. So as a coat, it'd be amazing. I'm going to bring in the chestnut here, which is also absolutely gorgeous on you. You imagine that.
Oh, I really love that.
Yeah, imagine it as a winter coat, imagine that as an evening dress, velvet or something. It's beautiful.
So everyone, this experience has actually exceeded my expectations. What I was expecting was to have some colours put around me and just be told sort of maybe very quickly what suits me, but it was so in depth. I have my wow colours that I absolutely love. I can't wait, as I said, to go shopping. I have colours, different combinations, so it's something that I think is very in-depth, something that I feel everyone should do, because I'm feeling already more confident and excited to go out and find things that actually suit me. I have a bit of work to do because many of these colours I don't have in my wardrobe. And the great thing is as well, I know also what kind of makeup to buy, so I have to sort my makeup out as well. All in all, it's been a really, really amazing experience, very relaxing. Everybody here is very hospitable as well, and I've just absolutely loved it. Thank you very much to everyone at House of Colour there. Well, don't go away, because after the break, we'll be talking to Caroline Billington from Community Christmas, Robert Lall from NHS Camden and Islington, plus I'll be giving you some tips on kind things you can do at Christmas. But first, according to a study, how many people in the UK will likely spend Christmas alone? Is it A, 500,000, B, 1 million, or C, 2 million? Find out the answer after this break. Welcome back to the Chrissy B Show, everyone. So we hope you've enjoyed our chat with Tom Cridland, the founder of the jumper with a 30-year guarantee. We also saw how our trip to House of Colour went and my own personal colour reading, which was very informative, and I'm actually glad to finally know what colours suit me best. Well, we're now about to go over to Caroline Billington of Community Christmas to talk about their work in making Christmas less lonely for some of the most isolated people in the UK. But first, before the break, I asked you, according to a study, how many in the UK will likely spend Christmas alone? Is it A, 500,000, B, 1 million, or C, 2 million? Well, I can tell you that unfortunately the answer is 1 million people. According to research conducted by Age UK, around 1.2 million people over the age of 65 feel that Christmas is just another day and passes them by. This is due to not having anyone to spend the day with, and many of those questioned say they often go through the entirety of Christmas Day without speaking to anyone. But now let's go over to Caroline Billington, who's trying to change those statistics and give a little bit of light and laughter to people who may be feeling isolated over Christmas.
Community Christmas was established with the vision that no older person in the UK should be alone on Christmas Day unless they want to be. In 2007, I was asked if I would drive a group of old ladies to a lunch on Christmas Day. I agreed, little knowing that would be a journey that would change my life. As I drove the ladies home after their Christmas lunch, certain aspects of their conversation struck me. What a fantastic day they'd had, how I wished I could have been part of that and contributed to it, and how happy they all were to have met each other so that they could meet and have a cup of tea at any time during the year. As the years went on and I did get more involved, I also started noticing more and more organisations talking about how many older people are alone on Christmas Day. However, very little was actually being done to address the problem, or where it was really hard to find. Community Christmas was born in 2011, and you can read a bit more about how it has evolved and grown on our history page of the website.
Organising a Christmas lunch for the elderly it's a lot of fun. But it is a lot of hard work as well. You're dealing with sometimes vulnerable people, people who live by themselves and perhaps haven't had a lot of company recently, which means that you do need to make sure that you're well organised and that you're communicating well. But I love it. It's great fun. I got loads of support from Community Christmas, more around things like good practice and advice, do's, don'ts, definitely don'ts, the sort of things that people who've run these events before have seen to work and seen to not work. Rather than reinventing the wheel yourself again and again and again, you can focus on doing what's worked well elsewhere, and I think that's important, because rather than trying to do everything from scratch, the help was already there, and that's what I find very helpful. I'd hope that the day makes a big difference. For the volunteers, it seems to make a difference, because it seemed to put a bit of fun back into Christmas. A lot of our volunteers were people who hadn't been doing a lot themselves over Christmas, my family included. We had seemed to get into this very sort of standard routine on Christmas Day where we got up, didn't do a lot, had some food and went to sleep again. So the volunteers seemed to get a lot out of it from, you know, helping others on Christmas Day. But then the more obvious side of it is perhaps what the guests get out of it, which I hope is, you know, companionship, fun, you know, not being alone on Christmas Day in their home. And I know that some of them have met friends at the Christmas Day lunch who they then saw, you know, throughout the rest of the year.
Now, for more community-based help, let's take a look at our trip to see Thrive London's problem-solving booths, which aims to get people having conversations across London.
We're here today running problem-solving booths. So problem-solving booths, a very simple idea. We just set up 2 chairs in a public place and we encourage members of the public to sit down and have a conversation about how they're doing, any problem they may be experiencing or anything they may want advice on.
Events like these are really important because it encourages the public to be able to discuss mental health, which is in a healthy, interesting environment, and so it's really good to be here.
Problem-solving booth was an idea that came from a young person on the streets of Camden when Charlie was out asking people what would be, what would you want in your community? And he said, I'd have a problem-solving booth right here on my street.
And that's where the idea of problem-solving booths came up, so that it was a non-threatening environment that people could have on the street where somebody would be a helper, someone would be helped, and they would encourage a conversation that would enable them to talk about mental health issues.
So the problem-solving group is a really exciting initiative of ours. They're basically, I guess, enabling conversations that otherwise wouldn't happen. So you've got a help seat and a helper seat, and the idea would be that if I were to get you in a booth, I'd sort of say, can you help me with a problem? Get a member of the public over, and then we basically, I guess, help each other with the problems, which it almost sounds too easy, but yeah, it works really well.
I myself, going through a mental health illness, I didn't talk about what was happening with me, so I believe that was a huge part of the big impact. So if I did talk about it earlier, maybe a few things could have been different.
Mental health is a huge problem in London, and what's unique about a problem-solving booth is it's taking conversations to the streets, talking to everyday people, and it's about saying that some of the answers to the challenges that we all face every day come from communities, come from going to the streets in London and talking to each other.
The theme this year is Take a Minute, Change a Life, and we just thought it was a really appropriate theme, particularly in the context of problem-solving booths, because it really is about just getting out there and letting people know that having a conversation about how you're doing, knowing that there's someone who can listen to you, and knowing as well that there's always a way in which you can help and give advice to someone, will just improve things for so many people, and it will hopefully mean that we have more resilient communities and that people, or fewer people, will get to that crisis point if it's a normalised thing to sit down and just have a chat about how you're doing, and to be able to ask for help and to be able to listen.
Thank you very much to Thrive London there. Now don't go away, because after the break we'll be talking to Lall of NHS Camden and Islington about his work with Arsenal Football Club and their plans over Christmas. But first, according to a survey, what percentage of people consider self-harm during the Christmas period? Is it A, 5%, B, 27%, or C, 52%? We'll discuss this after the break. I'm Chrissy B, and my show is all about improving your mental health and being happy. Join me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 PM on my channel Sky 203. Visit chrissybshow.tv for more information and subscribe to our YouTube channel Chrissy B Show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Chrissy B Show, and on our Facebook page The Chrissy B Show. Hello and welcome back to the Chrissy B Show, everyone. So far on the programme, we've spoken with Tom Cridland about his jumper with a 30-year guarantee. And Caroline Billington told us about Community Christmas and their mission to raise people out of isolation during the festive period. We're now going to go to Robert Lall of NHS Camden and Islington to talk about their work with Arsenal Football Club and the Christmas period as well. But first, before the break, I asked you to think about this. According to a survey, how many of those asked said they had considered self-harm over the Christmas period? Was it A, 5%, B, 27%, or C, 52%? Well, unfortunately, the answer is 52%. In the survey conducted by the charity Mind, of 1,100 people, over half say they have considered self-harming at Christmas. 36% say they had self-harmed, and a staggering 45% have considered taking their own life due to the pressure of Christmas. But now here to talk to us about his trust partnership with Arsenal Football Club and what the trust is up to over Christmas, it's Robert Lall of NHS Camden and Islington. Hello, Robert.
Hello.
Lovely to have you on the programme.
Thank you for having me here.
So can you tell us what your role is within the trust?
So what I do for Camden and Islington Foundation Trust is I work as a sports and football coordinator, and the idea behind that, and also exercise, but the idea behind that is helping individuals with severe and enduring mental health problems to get into some physical activity, so to be able to mobilise themselves and motivate themselves to come in, do some sports, football in particular with Arsenal, and you know, and manage to deal with local environments, local facilities, and also socialising. So it's quite important.
What kind of mental health issues do these people?
So we're looking at what we consider to be severe and enduring. So people who are suffering from psychosis, severe depression, personality disorders, individuals who have had long-term effects of mental health.
And I suppose many of these particular people with these mental health conditions maybe are kind of stigmatised quite a bit, aren't they, from people in general? So it's nice that you're actually
I mean, I suppose for me anyway, one of the biggest challenges is the stigmatisation from the general population. So individuals who've experienced these conditions tend to have to live with them, also living with the stigmatisation of the general population. So having to manage their local environments, manage their lives, their worlds, around individuals who might look at them in certain ways. So for example, people who might be diagnosed with schizophrenia, paranoid schizophrenia, the interpretation of that from the general public can be quite widely damaging. And so you'll have like phrases like, individuals who are dangerous, or they, somebody's pushed somebody in front of a train, or individuals who might come and shout and scream at you for no reason. And we realise that, working within the service, we recognise that individuals who are experiencing severe mental health problems and psychosis and schizophrenia are more vulnerable than they are anything else. And so what tends to happen is these individuals isolate themselves. They don't come out. They don't want to come out because they feel judged and they feel in danger of the environments in which they're living in.
And so how does the scheme actually work? Are they referred by a doctor to the scheme, or how does it actually work, and how do you get them involved?
So, I mean, Camden and Islington Foundation Trust and Arsenal and the community have been working together for the last 7.5 years, a little bit more than that. And so what we as a trust manage the referrals. So any service that works within Camden and Islington Foundation Trust can refer into us. So myself, along with the occupational therapy team in Islington, we'll manage the referrals. We'll look at them. We'll sort of ask the right questions and make sure that the individuals are safe enough to participate. And what I mean by that is that they have the physical health conditions that won't necessarily have a negative impact on them running around a football pitch. And then we'll manage that, and then we'll bring people in. A large part of my role is to try and break down some of the barriers that might be faced with individuals who are referred in. So some of those might be, as we spoke about, the stigmatisation, so not wanting to come out and socialise, not wanting to come out and engage in the general public. And so I will meet with the individuals potentially if they need it. I would meet with them first. I would sort of break down some of those barriers. bring.
Is that quite challenging to do?
Well, it is for the individuals. I suppose it is, because I mean, we can imagine. I suppose all of us can identify with joining new groups. You know, like I don't know if you know, for myself anyway, joining a gym, joining classes, different groups. It's all very challenging. It's all very difficult.
It is, yeah. That's true.
And that's people who are used to engaging with others, so you have friend networks, you have work colleagues and whatever else that you might be used to talking to
so you can imagine with people that aren't used to it.
Imagine being isolated, never really communicating with anybody, and then being asked to join something new. It's difficult.
And what are some of the changes that you've seen in the people that do use the service?
So there are some people who've been around for a long time, actually, and what we find is that people who do get involved want to stay involved, because it's something, once you break that barrier, once you get past that and you start to enjoy it, then it's it's something that you want to, the individuals tend to want to hold on to. But what I'd love to see, and what all of us love to see, is people progressing out of the service. So as a mental health service, we're here to support and provide treatment for people with suffering or experiencing these mental health problems. But what's great is to actually see them being able to develop past that and being able to then move on to lives, what I like to call real recovery, like getting work that's meaningful to them, doing things that's really meaningful, and stuff that they potentially were not able to do previously.
That's amazing,
and through that process. And a lot of what we do is not just coming here and playing football or running around and getting physical benefits. There's also obviously the social benefits that we spoke about, and try to break down those anxieties, but also that we do a lot of work with Arsenal in the community, which is a fantastic resource to help people into education and vocational development. So people have gone and done courses and developed through that. So it's amazing. Like, and we've seen enough people over the years getting careers and moving on, and that's great. Like, I had a call from somebody, just telling me how great he's doing now, and he just wanted to drop in to say hello, and that to me is a real success.
And that's the people that actually remember to sort of communicate back with you and tell you what's happening. Can you imagine how many other people have been helped?
Exactly, and we don't want to. There's no emphasis on anybody coming back.
But it's just nice to hear about it, isn't it?
It is, It's really nice.
Just be like, it's exactly,
and it is. It makes you realise that what you're doing is worth. For sure, but you certainly that's the success, is just to see people developing through their lives and out of the need for our service.
I mean, when people first start using the service and they first start playing football, especially, how often do they need to sort of come before you start seeing some changes, some improvements, or what do you recommend for them?
You see, so it all depends on what the individual wants to get out of it. Now, a lot of the times, from the initial sort of meeting, you'll have people saying that they want to improve their fitness and lose weight, because it's the conception for people to the general public have of going to exercise groups or sports groups is that very much that. But actually, what you get, a lot of the individuals start to quickly realise that the social side of it is really important. And that's something that they may not have acknowledged previously. So you see that pretty much straight away. Generally, pretty much straight away, you see the individuals starting to open up and become more susceptible to people around them. So if you're talking about those changes, that's pretty straight. That's really good. In terms of the physical health changes, it tends. I mean, I always say to everybody when I take them for us, you're going to play. It's going to hurt in the morning. It's going to hurt in the morning. But stick with it. Keep going through for at least sort of 3 weeks, and eventually, after 3 weeks, you're going to start to feel physically more capable of participating. Because if you've not played sports, if you've not done any exercise in any significant length of time, it's gonna have some impact on you. So it's important that people are aware of that, so it doesn't stop them from coming again, because you might wake up and go, I just can't walk, I'm not going there again, But so in answer to your question, there's lots of you see changes on lots of different levels, you know, at various different times.
That's brilliant. And any plans for over Christmas, Robert?
So yeah, I mean, we have year on year tried to be consistent throughout, and consistency and longevity seems to be the real, you know, benefits of this program, because people are going to a program that they know is going to be there.
It's building up trust, isn't it?
It is. It's building up trust. You know, for people, you know, individuals may not have had that experience of consistency in their lives. You know, have something to come to. And over the Christmas, like every year, we run right through, do the same thing. I think this year we're stopping for Christmas Day because it's a Monday and we normally play on a Monday. And then I think on New Year's Day, it's the same thing. But other than that, we run right through. And that's really important to have that, because although we, you know, may consider Christmas to be a really important time to spend with family and to have festive, you know, experiences, a lot of these individuals just want everything to continue. You know, because everything closes down, so you don't. There's nowhere to go. There's
it's another sort of family at the end of the day, isn't it?
Exactly.
To be honest, and that's sometimes for some people that's all they have. So to have that still for them over Christmas, I think is amazing.
Exactly.
That's brilliant.
That's it.
Robert, thank you so much for coming and telling us about the programme, and it's lovely speaking to you. And all the best over Christmas as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, everybody, so now on a slightly different note, perhaps you've been overindulging a little over the Christmas period, and it's been known to happen, hasn't it? Well, here is some seasonal exercise to help you out with that. It's personal trainer and fitness expert Natalia Kotowska.
Now we're going to move to the floor on our lovely green carpet. So, nice position, make yourself comfortable, extend your legs. Now you can support yourself with your hands. So you're making sure that you have nice and supporting hands just behind your back. You crunch, we're gonna do crunches. So we're gonna work on our abs, lower abs, middle abs, and we're gonna extend, fully extend our legs, and we're gonna crunch them in. So make sure that your knees are as close to your chest as possible. You're breathing out when you're extending your legs. You're breathing in when your legs are close to your chest. And you go again as fast as you can. Make sure that you work as a scissors. So you go all the way down with your chest, extending your legs, all the way up. Down, squeeze everything all the way up. Now you want to go as fast as possible, because if you're gonna go as fast as possible, you're gonna make sure that those abs are burning. Normally I do 3 sets of 20 repetition each. If you're more advanced, you can go even more with 30 repetition. More sets, more repetition, however you want. So, out, in, out, in. Make sure you're breathing all the time. Now if you're more advanced, you can just do it without your hands. So you extend your arms, you pretend that you're pushing your legs, you can have them just with your body working nice, long. Now once you're done with straight ab workout, we're gonna move to your obliques again. So we do the same thing. We're supporting our body. If we feel like we're not advanced yet, we're extending our legs, we go to the side. So we're working our obliques mainly, but at the same time our abs. We're extending, breathe in, out, breathe in, out. And we go as fast as possible. Again, supporting our body, making sure the chest goes right in, almost touching, chest touching the knees. Extend, full extension, in, out. Again, you go as fast as possible. Now you can mix those two exercises, so you can go 20 repetitions straight, working our abs, 20 repetitions each side on both obliques. That gives you amazing, strong, extreme workout. So guys, it's up to you. Once you go crunches, standing crunches, you go to the floor and you keep repeating 3 sets, 5 sets, 7 sets of 20, 30 repetitions each. So once you're done with exercises and your set, I'm sure your abs are burning. In this case, we're ready to enjoy our Christmas. So make sure that you work as hard as I do, even harder, and I'm sure you're gonna enjoy those exercises during that beautiful period. Thank you so much for today. Thank you for working with me. It was me and Katie with Nat, and I will see you soon.
Thank you very much to Natalia there. Now don't go away, because after the break I'll be giving you some tips on kind things you can do over Christmas. So don't go away. Welcome back to the Chrissy B Show, everyone. So we hope you've enjoyed our look into some of the great work being done to make Christmas that bit more special for some of the most isolated and vulnerable people in the UK. We've also had a look at our trip to House of Colour, as well as the problem-solving booths of Thrive London. But now let's head over to the Mental Health channel and watch their lovely video that really captures the joy of giving.
I have no clue how to wrap a gift. I've never done it before, ever, in my life.
I'll help
never.
you, don't worry.
Thank you.
The Gathering Place is built on giving.
Long ways or straight?
Long ways.
Like this?
Perfect.
You know, we give from our heart. A lot of times we don't have the things to give, so we give ourselves.
When you give something, you're not just giving material possessions, you can give a friendship. You can give happiness.
Every day when people come to the Gathering Place, they're giving something. And they're usually giving a lot.
How does that look?
Looks nice.
Hey Johnny, you look nice this morning.
Oh, thank you.
You guys ready for the party later?
As ready as we can get.
We're at the Gathering Place. The Gathering Place is a clubhouse. Members come from all over Houston. Everybody has some kind of issue with mental health, but that kind of makes them like anybody on this planet. We all have issues with mental health. Anyone who comes through these doors, whether it's physical disability or mental disability, what we have to offer is a welcoming community.
Good morning, members. It is now time for unit meeting. It is now time for unit meeting.
Morning meeting happens kind of one of the first things that we do.
Okay, is everybody ready? Yes, ma'am.
It's not a staff-led program, it's a community-led program.
Trash and recycle. Coffee.
People volunteer for the activities here.
Tabletop. Tabletop.
You know, when you get a mental illness, people often start making decisions for you. So if you've had power taken away from a long time by an illness you didn't want and you didn't ask for, we want to give it back. And so what we're trying to do is create a model where people feel empowered to take charge not only of their activities and their daily schedule, but also of their life. One of the big problems with mental illness is its impact on life expectancy. A lot of the research points to 12 to 20 years less than the general population. We wouldn't feel right if we didn't address that with a lot of energy and a lot of vigor. We're looking at issues like nutrition.
Well, eating healthy, you'll be able to function better because a healthy body gives you a healthy mind.
We have a weight room. We have yoga.
I really want you to stretch. Feel that stretch all the way up and around.
We have morning walks. People are really focused on getting a little exercise, but they're also really supporting each other.
You get depressed and you get sad, you can come here and the people will talk to you.
Y'all ready? 1, 2, ready, sing!
Joy to the world, the Lord is come.
Come on.
Let earth receive her King.
Hold it. Y'all off key. You're very off key. All right, let's try it again.
And wonder of his love.
All right. They did beautiful.
Hey, Mr. Johnny.
Hi, Michelle. How you doing today?
I'm fine. What's going on?
Things kind of bad right now. Right now, I don't have a place to stay right now. So I'm hoping that I can get something to get back on my feet.
Support at the Gathering Place is really based on the idea of trying to understand what each individual needs.
I'll look for a place, all bills paid, $500 a month.
Okay.
Okay.
That would be nice.
The staff just do an awesome job of helping people get things like housing, get to medical appointments, get to the grocery store, or access benefits. Other times that support is carried out or helped out through the members that are here.
Y'all doing good over here? All right, all right. Before I came to the gathering place, I was a mean person. I didn't even like myself. You know, you couldn't tell me anything. But I had to learn all over again. Being on the welcome committee, to me, it's a privilege to be up there. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the gathering place. Thank you. Yeah. And you supporting other people, not only is you helping that person, but you're also helping yourself.
Today, we are here volunteering at the water hole. We pick up trash, we do our best to keep the park clean.
Here you go, Ace.
Oh, thank you. Back when I was in middle school and high school, I was never happy. I would be picked on, I'd have a knife against my neck. It was horrible. I didn't think I had anything to live for. This, it gives me purpose. It gives me life to live for.
We're trying to focus on what would be an experience that would help that person feel whole or a great part of the community again. We call it a meaningful role.
My mom died, and I was dealing with that grief. I had a nervous breakdown and I tried to kill myself. After coming over here, I feel like my life has opened up again. It's just little things to do, but it's something that I'm helping somebody else enjoy their day, so I'm enjoying my day also.
Happy birthday, Uncle Johnny. Happy birthday to you.
That remix.
Thank you.
One of the bummers of having mental illness is the stigma. What we're trying to restore is the relationships, the ability to talk about what's going on. It's very difficult to get better alone. And probably the most important thing that this place offers is the ability to come together. So they're getting better together.
We are all family here. We try to let people know that, hey, we love you, we'll stand by you, we support you. All you have to do is just gather in. The meaning of Christmas is giving. In your giving, think about somebody else who don't have. You my little cup of tea. And this is just a small appreciation of my love to you.
Merry Christmas.
Wow. Oh, wow. I didn't expect this.
We are not just friends. We're not just people who work together. We are family.
You're welcome.
We enjoy each other, and we all know that we're okay.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Just to see the smile on someone's face.
Oh, wow, look at this.
That's the joy that I get out of it. You're welcome. You look back, you say, wow, I helped somebody today. Now I can help myself.
Thank you very much to the Mental Health Channel for that video, and if you'd like to know more about them, then do head over to our website, chrissybshow.tv, and click on our contributors section. Well, now it's time for my tips on kind things that you can do at Christmas. So let's go to the first point, which is to donate your warm clothes. Now, you can either do this to maybe a charity shop, but another alternative could actually be to give to someone that maybe you know is homeless, that you actually see on the street on a regular basis, or just go out and find someone. I'm going to do this with an item of clothing from my husband. He has a really thick, nice jacket. The only problem is that some of the feathers are coming out, so I've already washed the jacket, it's ready. I'm just going to sew up the part on the sleeve where the feathers are coming out, and that's a really good quality jacket. It's really, really warm. I've already put it in a nice bag, so we're going to be going out and finding someone that's on the street to actually give that jacket to that doesn't have one, because it's really freezing the weather right now. So that's just something you could consider. Make sure, however, that I would say present the item of clothing nicely to the person, make sure it's clean, it's good quality, and give to that person with love, I would say. The second point is to offer to shop for someone as well, because particularly if someone is quite poorly, or they're elderly, or they have some mental health issues that kind of prevent them from going out, obviously something like shopping is vital for the person. Okay, they could obviously shop online if they want to, but for someone that's elderly that might not know how to do that, that would be extremely difficult, if not impossible. So you could offer just to knock on the door and just say, look, do you need any shopping done? And that would make a huge difference for someone. The third point is to invite a neighbour for Christmas dinner. Now, I know, for example, that there are people that sometimes contact charities to find out, if they basically want to offer their home on Christmas Day, but there's so many laws and regulations and stuff. Obviously, they don't know people well, so they're not just going to put a vulnerable person in someone's house that they don't know. But I would say if there is a neighbour that you know, that maybe there's someone next door to you or someone across the road, and they're going to be on their own, then you could invite them over for Christmas dinner, or even on Boxing Day, just something so they feel included and they're not going to be by themselves. The next one is to buy a gift for someone. So again, getting a gift for someone who is by themselves is something really special, and actually writing something on a nice card for them as well. Imagine that person may be alone the whole year, and then on Christmas Day everyone's exchanging gifts and doing nice things to one another, and they just feel so left out. So why not it doesn't have to be something expensive, just buy something nice for the person. And sometimes you might say, oh, the person really doesn't deserve it, they're grumpy. I remember actually growing up, we lived right next door to a little old lady. She wasn't very nice to us, especially to myself and my sister. She used to kind of snap and be quite grumpy. And she just used to do some strange things. She obviously wasn't very well, but she was on her own and she had no one. We never ever saw people visiting her, but every Christmas my mum would put together a hamper for her, a nice hamper full of toiletries and food things and Christmassy things, and it was a massive hamper like this. And my sister and I would help put everything together, and then we'd present that to her every Christmas. And if you'd see the happiness on her face, even though whatever issues she was going through, for the way, her behaviour wasn't good, but just you could see her whole expression change every time she received that gift from us every Christmas. So don't kind of think only, oh, this person doesn't deserve it. You have no idea what people are going through behind closed doors. They could be going through serious issues, but just a little kindness from a neighbour or someone that they don't even know very well could change their whole day. Well, everyone, we've reached the end of today's program, but if you have a story that you would like to share, then please do email us on info@chrissybshow.tv. You can also tweet us @ChrissyBShow, or leave a message on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. And if you'd like to know more about my mental health journey, you can visit my personal website, which is mylifeafterdepression.com. Until next time, bye-bye for now.